Hello everyone, it's Joe here from OmniPoke, the channel that brings you guys everything Pokemon. Today we're playing some Magikarp Wailord-GX. Yes, our first tag team is on the ladder and we can start testing out this mechanic. And we start with a fun one with Magikarp Wailord. I needed no excuse to play a Quagsire deck, so that's what I'm going to do today. Obviously this is more on the fun side, more sort of trying to profile how a tag team works in our current format at least. And can give us some good insight into how they're going to function as we go forward, because that's, of course, very important. So this is more, one of the lesser powerful tag teams, but still good enough to build around and try and get some good highlight reel moments in. I played this on stream yesterday, got a big towering splash off, felt like a king, and I'm going to try and do the same in the games today. So I'll briefly go over the list, but do bear in mind that this is not a highly competitive deck list. It's pretty much a twist on one of my previous favourites, which has been Lapras Quagsire, and we're going to add in the one Wailord. Essentially, I cut my Kukuis, which were required for the Zoroark matchup. You no longer need the Kukuis because Super Splash does 180. Perfect for the Choice Band. So the cut didn't seem that painful, and we're going to add in Nagas as well to try and get even more energies on the board so we can attack with Wailord. That's the baseline. So for those of you unfamiliar with the deck, first of all, we're going to have a 2-2 Quagsire. This washout ability is one of the key components. As often as you like during a turn, you may move a water energy from one of your bench Pokemon to your active. Obviously important when we're using things like Aqua Patches, Naganadel charging up, that we can then just throw into our active position for our main attackers. So it means that we can start swinging with all sorts of dudes. And Hydro Pump is also an attack we can obviously go for. It does 60 and 20 more times the amount of water attached to this Pokemon. So it's more of a late game swing kind of card, because we never really want to commit too many energies all at once, unless it's on Wailord, where it's probably not going anywhere, because the whole deck is about retaining energy and recovering them and recycling them. So the Hydro Pumps can come in some non-GX matchups, but typically we save him for like an end game sweep, really. But he's the engine that we keep on the board. Similarly, a 2-2 line of Naganadel for that charging up, being able to recover basic energies and attach them to Naga. Obviously, the combination with Quagsire is so strong. It also is some nice type coverage. As a psychic type, we can have that turning point attack available, doing 80. And if we have 3 prize cards exactly remaining, we do 80 more. So with Choice Band, this can also knock out some GX Pokemon, or thanks to just its type coverage, we can knock out things like Buzzwole, whilst also, again, being the main component of just sitting on the bench and getting back energy cards here and there. For the attackers, we're going to have 2 Lapras-GX. I'm still going to play a couple of these because it's too difficult to ramp all the way up to 5 energies that early. We've got to have that middle ground. Lapras provides that with its Blizzard Burn and Ice Beam GX attacks, which are both obviously very good. Blizzard Burn with Choice Band, able to knock out most basic GX Pokemon. Ice Beam an option if we want to chain our attacks, because the text of Blizzard Burn is a little bit annoying. It can't attack during our next turn, so we have to try and find a pivoting card, or we've got to pay retreat, which always hurts this deck. Obviously, we do have the Naganadel, so we only really pay 1 retreat, really, if you think about it, but it still is a little frustrating. Collect is another great thing for the deck, seeing as though it is so combo reliant. If we are able to get Lapras into the active early, draw some extra cards, that can really help get us into our combo pieces, which we need a lot of, really, to get going. We have Volcanion Prism Star, a really outstanding card, to be honest. 160 hit points on a non-GX is really awkward to get over. Jet Geyser is an amazing ability. Once during a turn, you may discard a water energy from your hand. If you do, your opponent switches their active with one of their bench, so it's like half of a escape rope effect, or it's a repel, but it has great synergy with the deck also because you get to discard energy from your hand. This can obviously get them in the discard pile for Naganadels and Aqua Patches, or just simply lower the hand size for some card draw here and there. So this is a really excellent ability, but his attack is also pretty bonkers for 3 water as well. It does 120 to each of your opponent's bench Pokemon. And it actually combines with Wailord quite well, because we actually have the potential to spread with Towering Splash very late in the game. So against some evolving decks, or against things like Persimmon, where they have like 110 hit points, you could do this one Sauna Blast and then set up a Wailord to knock them all out at once, which is hilarious, obviously. So these Sauna Blasts are really relevant damage in a lot of situations. Against Zoroark as well, it puts the Laprases into range with Choice Bands. So this damage is really important for us in a lot of matchups, whilst also, again, being just a tanky non-GX that sits in our active and gets value with those Jet Geysers as well. The new Magikarp Wailord tag team. What do I have to say about this guy? Well, he's definitely the late game sweep that we have available. 300 hit points is a lot to get over, so you can bench him in certain turns knowing that he probably isn't going to get knocked out anytime soon. Obviously it is weak to grass, so be aware of Lost March and maybe some Decidueyes around there and stuff, but that's really about it. Super Splash is indeed super. It does 180. That could be knocking out Lele's in its base form, or you can slap that Choice Band on and knock out the likes of Zoroarks and other Stage 1 GXs. And Towering Splash, if we are able to get that moment, we can get 8 energies onto him and do 10 to the active and 100 to each of your opponent's bench Pokemon, and we could take multiple prizes as a late game finish. How often have we seen Ultra Necrozma be able to use his GX attack to try and close out games? Well, this is just going to be even more damage counters. Of course, it requires us a lot more energy, but it can be a hilarious way to end the game as well. And it's going to be something we look for in these games, I'm not going to lie, because we're here for the fun factor. Tapu Lele, obvious. Wonder tags available. Energy Drive, we can wash out a bunch all onto it at once if we need to pile on for a single attack against maybe some other tag teams. Oranguru, again, Instructing is pretty self-explanatory, one of my favourite cards in the game, and this deck can function off a fairly low hand size and top itself back up with Guru. Psychic is also an attack that you can bear in mind, again, for non-GX matchups. We actually do have a good amount of non-GX attackers with the Volk, the Guru, the Naganadel, and the Quagsire, and the Stretcher as well. We can try and cycle a lot of non-GXs in those sorts of matchups if we need to. One Ditto Prism Star is fairly routine when we're playing 2 different Stage 1 lines. Onto the trainer cards, a Stretcher. I would actually kind of like a second Stretcher, but the space is pretty tight for this build because we're trying to cram so much in. But it's going to be nice for recycling our Stage 1 lines, most importantly. Couple copies of Treasure. Obviously, it synergizes with getting Lele in the early games so that we have, you know, decent turn 1 hands, whilst also getting some more Nagas into play and giving us more discard synergy. 3 Acro Bike for that beautiful discard synergy with water energies and helping us dig that little bit further to our combo pieces, like the likes of Aqua Patch, which is more supplementary in this deck. Obviously, it's more in here for the early game, because it's not often that you'll have, you know, 1 or 2 Naganadels on in the early turns. You can sort of let that be on the back burner and let the Aqua Patches get you into those turn 2 attacks, like Sauna Blast and like Blizzard Burn, if you're able to get the Quagsire up into play and stuff like that. So these are really sort of supplementary in the early turns, and then later on in the game, they're usually a little bit dead in comparison to like the straight build that was trying to Aqua Patch every time you saw it. Because we have the Naganadel, it sort of has a small anti-synergy, but this early game that we can get out of it is still incredible. For Ultra Ball, pretty self-explanatory, as well as the Brooklets. Gets most of our key water attackers, as well as the Woopers down, which is always important. 4 OBS of all the good supporter cards. 3 Choice Bands, still very relevant for our Laprases and our Magikarp Wailord, as well as on things like Naga and Quag as well. You know, it's just always going to be relevant, math changing in this deck. And a couple exp.share. I feel this is stronger than just having more Naganadels in the deck, because it's more retention overall, and the bench space can get quite tight for this deck, especially if you've had to commit Lele, Oranguru onto the board, at least 1 Quagsire, probably a backup Wooper or Ditto. So there's not that much space for more Naganadels anyway, so I'd rather have exp.share to recover these energies throughout the game. There's not a huge amount of decks playing a high field blower count. It's usually a 1 or none in the current format. And then 11 energies to round things off, I think is, again, pretty straightforward. It is a lot of our energies to come out of the deck to do a big towering splash, but who knows, maybe we can make it happen. For other card inclusions that you could consider, some switch cards is something I'm not playing. Escape ropes or switches, or even switch rafts if you want to get those little heals in there as well. You can think about playing some more heal, seeing as though we are playing Magikarp Wailord. We could do some funky stuff with max potions and then like wash it all out onto him and stuff. That would be more if you wanted to go down a heavy Magikarp Wailord route, but I feel like it's best as just a one-off attacker, because, you know, if one Wailord goes down, the whole game is like over pretty much. So the intention is to get him down late and to swing games with him when he can't be dealt with, and he'll just take 4 prizes on his own, doing these big super splashes or a big towering splash in the best case scenario. And other than that, maybe some other supporters you could think about, Sightseer or Sophocles for some more discard support. But I think that's all we really need. I'm going to save this up. And Wailord times 0 is the one we're looking for, because I was playing it on stream. 2 different builds. I was trying... So I first of all tried like the pure old school, like my original build of Naganadel Quagsire... No. Lapras Quagsire without Nagas. And it felt like we could never get the Wailord attacking because the exp shares weren't enough supplements. So then I tried a pure Naga Quag without like the Laprases, and it felt too clunky, too reliant on getting the whole combo going. So then we played this hybrid build on stream, and this was the one that did the best for us, so I thought it would be the one to profile today. So let's see what we're up against and see if we can get some big whales splashing about. That is the goal of today. Should be pretty fun. A stage 2 deck. Some stage 2 decks are quite good matchups for us. If it's things like Meganium Swampert, they give us a lot of time to do some Sauna Blast spreads. And if we could do that, the Wailord could actually end the game all in one turn. If it's a Zoroark Decidueye, that might be our hardest matchup. Or one of our harder matchups for sure. Looks like it's going to be Guardy. Guardy's also pretty difficult. We definitely need to get Sauna Blast to set up the Guardies. And we need to use our Wailord or our Lapras, and basically like as a sack Pokemon in order to get things happening. So because we really want water energy off of our Acro Bike just to bin, we're going to use our Brooklet and our treasure straight away. I think I want something to start attaching to pretty sharpish as well, because we have the Aqua Patch in hand. It makes sense to thin it early. So let's do these plays. Let's grab ourselves a Poipole. We have prized one. That's definitely worth noting. And let's look to find a water energy on our top 2. Broken Acro Bike. Well done. Let's go for another one. Oh, the dream. The absolute dream. We've won. Okay. Lapras Quag never lets me down. This feels pretty good. Lillie for 7. We got ourselves another backup Wooper as well now. And this looks like a very good turn 1 for us. We have guaranteed turn 2 attack. We have Ultra Ball and supporters for next turn. This is looking magical. We could Jet Geyser, but I don't feel like it's worth it. We'll pass. We'll keep the attachment for next turn, because I could just Guzma next turn. Or we could evolve into a Naganadel in the active, charge up, retreat, evolve into Quagsire, and then just get him back in the active. So we have plays depending on what he tries to do. They're going to switch and beacon, it looks like. Oh, a Judge. Turn 1 Judge Beacon. They're judging us out of a sick hand, which really hurts. But we get a pretty good hand back, so we'll take that. They're actually playing Zoroark rather than Swampert as their backup. Not bad. Okay, they're going to get Guardian Tails, as you can imagine. We're going to Brooklet. Get a backup Whoop, I think. When you're up against a Zoroark deck, you always need to get backup Woopers, because it's so easy for them to just handle our Quagsire. And the frustrating thing is we've also prized a Quag, so we probably can't Ultra Ball away the Stretcher here. So getting rid of another water energy is a little risky. But I think we have to do it. And we're going to grab Naganadel for our active, so we can charge up. And we're going to Cynthia, hoping to hit water energies or aqua patches. And we got a lot of water energies. So let's charge up. Let's retreat. Now we have the option to Jet Geyser as well here. Pretty much every target's better than this Vulpix. I mean, he probably just feeds us the Ditto. But that limits him to only one Zoroark, I guess. So it's a small victory for us, and I think it's worth it. It's an extra energy in our discard, which I really don't mind either. Just the more the merrier in our discard. We have so much energy recovery. We still have 3 patches, and these Nagas, I imagine, are going to get value. So it's probably just the Zorua or the Ditto that comes to us here. Yeah. And we'll Sauna Blast. Take the first prize, put some early damage on, which is definitely important for our dealing with Guardies, because currently they're doing 120, so they need DC Spring to get a knockout. And that would put us in a pretty awkward spot for sure. They're gonna Brooklet out another Ninetales, oh sorry, another Vulpix. They're gonna Mysterious Guidance to find Lotto Treasure. Oh sorry, Lotto Timer, what am I talking about? Let's see, double heads is pretty PogChamp for them. Means they can get Guardi Zoroark more than likely, which is pretty busted. Oh, they're just going for another Ninetale. Wait, why would they go for those two? Do they already have the Guardi? Wait, they beaconed for Guardi, right? I can't remember what they beaconed for. Okay, they're just going to Ultra Ball the Ninetales that they searched out. That's really weird. Okay, they're doing it for Lele. Do they have Mallow, potentially? That would be very scary. That would guarantee some really good cards. Just Cynthia. So they'll go Zoroark. Well, Lotto first, sure. Well, they don't need much now, do they? Candy Guardi, attach. So it looks like they're just lacking the... Nope, they've got it all. They have literally all of it. Wait a minute, why would they? Oh, I'm dumb. They already have the knockout. They don't need to Spring active. We are definitely in trouble. We cannot knock out a Gardevoir very easily at all. We're dropping all of our energies. We weren't able to find any of our EXP shares, which really hurts. If I promote Naga, I can charge up and just retreat, but it's still wasting energy cards. Which is really scary. I could do like a lot of charging up to the active and actually attack with our Naga, but that's more energies that go. I think Poison might be our best move if we can't get a real attack off. Which it looks kind of, well, double Quagsire is okay. Protects us a little bit from some awkward hands. 7 energy in our discard is a lot. Let's do this. I think I want to pull out Lapras and try and go for a Paralysis play. Towering Splash isn't good in this matchup, but Paralysis is probably the best thing we can look for this turn. So we can go charging up. We can always attach to the bench because we can always wash out to the active. So we'll do this. Refresh this hand. So we want to try and find some Aqua Patches. Aqua Patch Naga is the dream. None of those cards. Very rough. Is it going to be a Spit Poison turn? Oof. Yikes. Yikes indeed. We're trying to set up the Lapras knockout, basically. But it's not looking good. This does not look like a good Wailord game either. If he gets another Rolts down especially. We're going to see the Ultra Ball. The good news is they only have one Zoroark on the board, so they're still a mortal man. They're not able to get exactly what they want every turn. They're having to Lele as well. That's really good for their board state. Because this Guardi is like their only threat at the moment. This could be a way into the game for us. We got the crucial one Sauna Blast in for these boyos. So it looks like they're just going to Acerola and attack us with possibly this. They get the 30 on here. They still need like Kukui or something. Maybe they put the 30 on Naga. Actually, on the Lele is probably their best thing, just for racing. Huh, they're going to put it on the Lapras anyway. Okay. So, we can take the knockout on the active, quite happily. Just with, you know, charge up, attach, wash out, choice band. But do we want to Guzma up the Rolts? And I think the answer is definitely yes. And if I'm Guzmaing up Rolts, am I doing it with this Lapras to try and be more tanky? And I think the answer might also be yes. And then are we going for Ice Beam? And I think the answer is again yes. Okay, we've planned our turn. Because once this threat is dealt with, their board is pretty weak at dealing with Laprases. He can go for like another 70-30 on both our Lapras. Okay, let me think about this actually. If he goes for a 70-30, then both of them are in range of 2 Zoroark knockouts. He goes 70-30, we go smack for knockout. He can knock out us, go down to 2, but then we can finish. So yeah, it doesn't matter. And this way round, he can't just go Zoroark knockout next turn and then develop a massive Guardi to win game. I don't really see how they're winning. I shouldn't really gift him the Kukui play though, right? Is he going to play Kukui if it's a Guardi build? Probably doesn't have space, right? But he has already surprised me with Judge and Lotto. A few interesting inclusions here, which makes me a little skeptical about what's going on. It's definitely this. It's just, do I want to play around Kukui? 150... 160, 170, 180, 190, 200. Or do I just gift him the Snowy Wind? I think we're winning if he just Snowy Winds next turn. Yeah, we're just going to Ice Beam. I think it's the play. Oops. Next turn we can Choice Band, knock out Lillie, our hand back up, and it's looking pretty good. Don't really see a way he can take 2 prizes. I feel like he had to put the 30 on the Lele last turn just to be able to race us efficiently. It was like a Guzma play this turn with his Zoroark whilst benching a Rolts. Like, that was probably his... I mean, it's a lot to ask for, but... Lapras Quag still broken, it turns out. He's got a pretty thick Ninetales. 3 Vulpix. Yep, there's Rolts. What else can they do this turn? Just DC smack. Yeah, okay. That's really good for us. And we'll just Choice Band. Charge up, attach, Lillie. So now we're looking at if we can find Choice Band. That's really good for us, which we can do. So we have game in hand for next turn. It's down to him to judge us again. And I feel like he's not going to be able to judge us when he needs to get like... Well, I mean, he has the knockout with Ninetales, but he probably wants to just Candy, Guardy, Spring Attach, and put me on a 1-turn clock. If you can do all of that with a judge, like fair play, that's a really good turn from him. But it's asking a lot. And if it's a stage 2 build, I can't imagine him playing more than one judge. It's probably just the judge pal pad, right? That would be my assumption. I feel like we just have to say if he's got judge and everything else, fair play. Cynthia's fine. Good game. We'll let him know that we already have it. We also obviously need to show him the Wailord for the emoji. That Volk spread. Broken. Well, a nice early win. Able to get around a big Guardy. That Naga got some insane value. Our turn 1 was pretty nuts, but we got judged out of like the nuts. But we were able to stabilize eventually, which is pretty cool. I feel like that Acerola play was like quite not good. They Acerolla'd up their only threat. Which is pretty weird. But it shows you that the Volt has so much tanky hit points that it requires, you know, them to commit their main attacker every game. Right. Lapras-Quag, definitely a worse deck going second, that's for sure. Them bleeding a Lele is pretty good for us, though. Maybe it means we can survive a little bit better. Choice Band Cynthia. That's not the start they're looking for, no matter what deck they are. And I have no idea what they're playing. What are they playing? Zorro something. Something Zoroark? Yeah. More Zoros. So the key is again going to be trying to use that Volk Prism early, then moving into the Lapras, then moving into the Wailord in that order, whilst assembling everything as we go. Let's grab this. Our Lillie is pretty poor. I don't want to Jet Geyser because it can just give him Wooper. It can just give him Zoroark to knock out Wooper, which we don't want. Draw 4. Yeah. Acro Bike. Nice. Getting energy gone. Means we can patch attach next turn. Do I want to commit it now? I do, just in case he's going to do any gusting. This means I don't need to get Oranguru. Or sorry, it means I don't need to get Quagsire. Do I commit the exp.share? I mean, he's definitely not going to be able to Zoroark, Guzma, and knock it out. He will down the line, but I think this is the best place for the exp.share regardless, so I might as well get it attached. And if it baits a field blower, we don't mind that, because Choice Band is so important in this matchup, so we'll just pass this. They do have Zoroark. They're going to play out Rockruff, which is perfect for us to Guzma next turn. And they have Cynthia. So they're back out of their awkward turn 1. See how many more basics they can develop. Ditto is now the new thing that we kill. They can still retreat and knock out Wooper, which would make me a little bit sad, but they do whiff DCE. So they're just going to hit us for 40, which I'm very happy with. Not taking a prize on us is great news. An Ultra Ball pickup as well is magical. We're going to put down Wooper from our Brooklet. We're going to Ultra Ball away Cynthia and Lele, I think. It's going to mean that we can get some Instruct draws whilst also developing Poipole. We don't need our Quagsire this turn because we're going to Guzma anyway. We take the Ditto, I think. He always evolves a Pokemon, so it's not like we're ever going to randomly Sauna Blast, knock it out. We'd have to be so lucky for that to work. And they already have a Zoroark on board and a pretty sizable hand, so we'll deal with the Ditto and put the relevant damage everywhere else. So the thing we're most scared of is Lele DCE Kukui here. That's the scariest move. We do have charge up exp.share on the board though to try and redevelop attackers if he does go down that route. What's more likely? Maybe just Lycanroc, pull up Wooper and finish it off. Bad field, sure. He chose not to get another Rockruff out, which is interesting. Maybe it's just the thin line. Okay, he's just going to two-shot us. That is good for us. Okay. Does Jet Geyser look good here? Jet Geyser definitely looks interesting. I'm intrigued in it. I can get behind it. We're definitely Ultra Balling away this water energy. I know that much. Ultra Ball away water. Probably just get Quag. Evolve, Instruct, and figure out what we want to do with our turn. I don't think we instantly Jet Geyser. We could Instruct into Guz, and Guzma's like really good. So we're definitely doing this. We're definitely doing this. Doesn't matter which one we get rid of, does it? We get rid of the Lillie, because we can Instruct into unplayables. And we're going to get Quag, just for the options. Or am I going to get... Yeah, we need the Quag. We need the Quag. If I'm going to get any attacker up, we need Quagsire to do it. We're going to evolve this one. We're going to Instruct for 2. The Guzma High Roll is the dream. Another exp.share and a Lapras is strong, though. So we're going to get 4 energy at least. We get a second one of these, which is very, very good for us. I don't mind putting this on the board, even though he has Rockruff around. And we can do this. And we have Acro Bike. And already it looks pretty good without the Cynthia. We can grab a second. So we still have our attachment. We have Charging Up. We have Jet Geyser available. So if we Jet Geyser, we just give him a better Acerola? Question mark. If we attack the active, he will Acerola anyway, but he retains the energy. If we were to Guzma this, he'd be more likely to be able to Lycanroc, multi-switch, knock out Lapras, which is, I guess, the thing we're most scared of. We're definitely going to do this quickly while I mull things over. I think we just have to hit active here. I'm going to spread energies around. The Jet Geyser really doesn't feel worth it on the Zoroark. It's not bad for him if he... Even if he just has no Zoroarks in his hand, we give him the extra draws, basically, so... Doesn't make sense, we'll just attack. It's not great, though. We never really like allowing a Zoroark to get an Acerola play off, especially on a Lele. We normally like to finish them with Lapras. Who knows? Maybe he doesn't have Acerola in hand. If it's Zoroark, maybe he only plays one. We've already seen Max Potion go. Maybe it forced him to put another Lele down, which is like kind of okay as well. So this might be fine. They're going to Ultra Ball. They got rid of multi-switch, that's good to know. Lele Acerola, that's not the worst outcome for us, that's for sure. We're only really scared if there's a blower in that hand. He also needs to evolve. Oh no, he's knocking out the active. What am I saying? He doesn't need to evolve. Puts down the Sneasel. So we would like to bounce the Stadium to be a bit safer against a Weavile coming in. Now that multi-switch is gone, we're not too scared of a Lycanroc, but we are definitely scared of that when we have 3 abilities on board. Is it Wailord time? Yay, it's Wailord time! Whee! 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1 goes to the discard to get us to 5, 6, and I can pay retreat and have 5 for the big old Splashums. Feels good. Feels really strong here, actually. Da 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 da. All in, baby. I don't want to evolve another one, do I? That puts the Lapras in danger, so we won't do that. I wanted to keep the Guzma around because we probably need it for next turn, but actually we picked up Choice Band, which is pretty insane for next turn. Ooh, this helps as well. Ooh, I do need Choice Bands though. I've not been through any just yet. I guess we get through this. There's probably Munches Lele as well. So I guess we'll just bounce this, so that he can't just eat a Lapras quite as easily. And we'll start throwing it all to the active and doing a big super splash. As I said earlier, not needing Kukui actually does improve our Zoroark matchups. Obviously we were able to get 2 Volcanion attacks off, which is very good. So we're pretty happy with that. I see no way that he can respond on this whale in 1 hit, because 300 is a lot of hit points to eat. So he's going to bounce Stadium again. He does have the unit, so he's definitely going in with a Weavile. He hilariously might not be allowed to bench any more Pokemon here in fear of a towering splash, which is quite magical. He's going to Lele though. Maybe Lele Mallow. Don't think we've seen Mallow from him just yet. Guarantee some stuff. What's he able to find? 2 Cynthia's gone. He might just be judging us, maybe? But that's really risky for him to miss. I wonder. Yep, just Mallow. Makes sense. Got to guarantee it at this point. If he whiffs, he just can't win. One thing we haven't played around is if he had Kukui, Choice Band. Oh no, don't worry, I'm crazy. He can't Choice Band down and Counter Gain in the same turn, can he? Or on the same Pokemon? Yeah, we've played around it perfectly. Easy. Big old whale. 300 hit points. We played around getting knocked out. Broken. So it looks like he's really trying to figure out how he can win this game. I guess he could put, like, as if he has... Oh my goodness, what? Yeah, I think he forgot to trade there, right? I mean, I think we were wrapped up anyway. We were going down to 1 prize that turn. We had 7 energies on our board and 2 exp shares. So even if Wailord was knocked out, we can easily just finish. Even if he evolved into Lycanroc, it would have had 160 hit points, so it was in Guzma range. So 2 wins against Zoroark decks. Not bad for Lapras, not bad. 1 Wailord worked so far, which is always fun to see. Entering the scoop phase as soon as you see a Magikarp Wailord. That's what we like. That's what we like. Let's have one more game with this ton of fun known as Magikarp Wailord. Quagsire just makes me feel good, man. Hello, buddy. You're on a video. Let's see if you get GX'd attacked. Oh dear. Onyx. Is he playing attacking Steelix? Possibly. Quite possibly indeed. Do it. Oh man, we prized our Volk. Man, Volk is so good though. That's really sad. So it looks like we're attacking to Wooper this turn. Attaching, not attacking. We might be attacking with Wooper eventually. It's just really bad that we couldn't thin cards. Okay, that's our turn. This might be the game where you see the cracks showing with this deck. Big Daddy Steelix coming in with his tail crushes. We do not want him to knock out our Wooper. Sudowoodo is actually really bad for this deck as well. Man, everything. All the answers. Welp. That's a nice pickup. Naga stays out of range at least, even with the heads. Which means we don't have to commit the Lele, I don't think. Which is cool. We'll just do this. More energies, you say? Alright then. I don't really need the thing if I'm just attacking next turn. How am I finishing this Steelix? Man, Steelix is a big... Having to Wailord a Steelix does feel quite bad, man. Let's think about this. Next turn, smacked 10 hit points, worst case scenario, or at least in range of a knockout. We can attach and smack, but we lose everything. I could retreat and try and get a Wooper attack to get to 120, but then that could get heads flipped and lose. So I think we just get this. Obviously Shrine's painful and all that stuff, but I think we need to like paralyze him to sort of catch up in this game, which kind of hurts a lot, but we'll do it. We'll do it because we have to, not because we want to. He's going to start attaching to Monkey. So his hand looks pretty awkward as well then, at least. Lusamine for Guzma, sure. Yep, down to 10. Shrine ticks over. Aqua Patch one time, nice. Charge up. I think I might unfortunately have to dump another Guzma and put another GX on our board next turn. Sometimes you just gotta. But we're trying to aggro him out, really. We've spent our GX attack, which would have been really fun to try and like knock this out, and knock out like Onyxes all at once with our Wailord. But I feel like we have to try and capitalize on his lack of hand if we're going to win this game. Because we're already a little bit far behind. Man, his hand was not bad actually. He just got into another DCE, knockout. That's really good for him. Yo, we're getting wrecked. Okay, bouncing Shrine is huge. Not yet, Wailord. Later. You'll come into play later. We'll grab the Lillie. Gross. I don't just want to start patching to this if he can just have more Guzmas. It's not safe. There's no reason to. I do want to commit exp.share though, that's for sure. And we'll take the KO. We're really looking to hit Volk. We need that Volk. Where you be? Where you at, Volk? You're the man in these sorts of matchups. The single individual man that does everything. Brooklet helps him get more developed with his Onyx team. He now has Magcargo, but no Monkey just yet. He chose to Acro Bike pre-smooth over, so his hand must be pretty strong. I feel like he's already got a supporter in there. He might have smooth over. Oh, he just has Stretcher. Maybe he already had Stretcher. That also works. Yeah, and supporter. He had it all. Oh dear. Steelix. You make me so sad. Man, if only... Could I have been more patient to try and get the Wailord attack off? I feel like if we hadn't paralyzed, like, we would have lost all of our energies anyway. And there's already a lot in our discard. There's already 4 in the bin. I feel like the Wailord plan probably wouldn't have happened in this matchup. If we had started better, possibly. And it would be a genuine win condition because there's 1, 2, 3, 4 prizes we could take all in a turn with our whale. So it looks kind of silly now, but for tempo reasons, I feel like we had to at the time. This is looking all kinds of horrible. We obviously can't attack this guy. So we need to put yet more GXs into play. I feel like I need to Stretcher 3 targets back as well. I'm going to quickly scout this. No, we're not. 1, 2, 3. Woopums. The idea is that we can catch up with Quagsire attacks soon enough, just not yet. this retreat attack. This retreat attack. If we grab the Onyx, he can just smooth over and get another one out, more than likely. So we should probably just try and target the engine to stop him getting everything every turn. Everything every turn is quite scary as a prospect, I would say. Right, still on the Volk hunt, obviously. Naga's not a bad prize to take, to be fair. Nice Acerola. Crush some tails. We need him to start flipping some more tails on those, to be honest. Do we hit him with the Naga first? We're only doing 30. So no. We just have to hope he can't flip heads on our Quags. Quag my lord. As he is well known. So wild that we had the comeback potential with this game if we hadn't used our GX attack. I feel like we had to at the time though, like I say. But it is sad that we have a genuine win condition against a wacky deck like this just because of the Wailord. Like, look at that bench. It would just be, glorious. I think the nail in the coffin is just not having Volk Prism though. For a matchup like this, it's just a death. It's just so hard for us to win with an army of Lapras. Much easier if we had Volk, because they have to two-shot through it. We put more things in range. We wouldn't have to have used our GX attack, and then we could have had the Wailord sweep. So everything points to me being sad because of how reliant this deck is on one Prism Star card, which is the sad truth, but it's definitely the truth. So they have one prize left, and that's very worrying. We need to re-establish a Quag this turn as our priority. In terms of an attacking threat, what can we do? I can't really allow the Lele to get damaged because he'll probably just shrine us to death anyway. I can attach to the active though, that's fine. Don't think we can bench the Wailord. Don't think he's going to get us, but I think we do lose to Guzma at the moment, so we have to really increase our odds and pull some GXs onto the board now. Let's just do it. I would like to Guzma, but we need to try and get the Quagsire on board, which we do, which is nice. So in terms of attacking, he has 100, 130. So I have to attack with Lapras. And that's all you need to know. We still lose a decent chunk of the time with him Guzering Quagsire again, just because of the Victini that's on the board now. But he needs to have Energy, Steelix, Guzma all in hand to have that flip. Volk Prism, you silly card. What are you doing in there? Not on the field. Looks like you might be going for the flip. The 75%. Sometimes lucky, boys. Let's go. Ah. We were quite far away from winning that game, let's not lie. But that was fun. He was pretty all in though. If he flipped double tails there, did we have a way of knocking out a Steelix? No, definitely not. How many energies do we have? 5, 6, 7? 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18? No, we couldn't get close. Yeah, it was the play. Well, that was fun. Wailord is a beast. He could have won us that last game, but our start was kind of awkward. This is a beetle when you prize it, and it is a huge reason why this deck works in the first place, obviously. So it's a shame that we didn't get to close out that final game. Would have been awesome to get a Towering Splash on here. Check back on the OmniPoke, on the Team OmniPoke Twitch channel, and you can see a Twitch clip of me doing it to a Persimmon for game, which is pretty hype. And hope you enjoyed the video, guys. It is a lot of fun to do some of this stuff, and seeing Wailord in action was just for a little bit okay, I guess. So yeah, hope you all enjoyed, and I'll be back onto the team up stuff as of tomorrow. So yeah, cheers.